And welcome to another week of Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. We have plenty of stories and highlights to bring you this week, including the new head football coach being named over at Southeast Bulloch. We'll have a chance to talk with the new Yellow Jacket head coach, Barrett Davis. We'll also take you over to Georgia Southern, where a big announcement involving the Tormenta FC soccer team, as they'll be moving up and also building a new stadium that should be ready by the 2019 soccer season. We'll talk with Darren Van Tassel, the president of Tormenta FC. Also, the Georgia Southern men's and women's basketball teams on the road this past week in Arkansas. The guys won on Thursday and against Arkansas Little Rock, and then lost on Saturday to Arkansas State. The women were swept in both Thursday and Saturday. The guys currently third in the Sun Belt. They have a couple of big games coming up this week. We'll take a look at some highlights and take a look ahead to their games this week. As for our area high school basketball teams, the Statesboro Blue Devils knocked off New Hampstead on the road, claiming the region title. The good news for the Blue Devils is both the boys and the girls will be hosting in the region tournament, which gets underway Wednesday. The girls taking on Wayne County. The girls were the 2 seed. They'll play Wednesday at 3:30. The guys will play Thursday to get things underway. They were the number 1 seed and have clinched a spot in the state playoffs, as have the girls. It's all about seeding this week. We'll let you know how they're going to do, or we'll let you know how they did, and take a look at some of the highlights. We also had Southeast Bulloch picking up their first win of the season for the boys. They both have region play-in games for you this week. For the Bulloch Academy Gators, they were able to sweep this past week against Edmund Burke, and they'll have some big games coming up. Their region does not start until next week. They still have a couple of regular season games this week on the road on Tuesday and then back home on Friday. And for the Portal Panthers, they get their region underway on Thursday. They both played Johnson County this past weekend. We'll take you out for senior night and some highlights from that one. But before we go to break, we'd like to remind you, for any legal advice you'd have in the Statesboro Bulloch County area, we have the man for you to call. Lovett Bennett Jr., attorney at law, PC. Lovett's office located in downtown Statesboro.
No credit refused isn't just an offer, it's a way of business and has been for over 100 years. No banks, no ridiculous credit requirements, just local Badcock store owners who treat you right and give you credit when others won't. It's never been easier to express your style and love your home.
So a busy week of high school basketball. As we mentioned in the top of the show, the Statesboro Blue Devils will be hosting the region tournament. It gets underway with the girls Wednesday at 3:30. The guys get underway on Thursday. Big games for them this past weekend. They took on New Hampstead. Let's get out and take a look at some of the highlights from the boys' game. Statesboro High at New Hampstead with the region title on the line. The Devils prepared and playing tough early on. Zarion Griffin with the steal, and he goes in for the layup. A little later, off the inbounds, Daniel Cooper knocks down the 3 from up top. Back, the Phoenix buckling down on defense, forcing the turnover. Romaine Bennett finishes on the other end. Back to Statesboro we go. Cooper remains hot. He connects another 3. He'd have 3 in the first half, but New Hampstead stays close. Bennett with the triple from the corner. Statesboro with just a 3-point lead at the half. Lee Hill encouraging the team in the second half, and they'd pull away. Cooper with another. New Hampstead responds. Tyrell Garvin forces the turnover, but Garvin not done. He comes up with the loose ball. and scores on the other end, but it wouldn't be enough. Taylor Gilchrist gets one in. And a little bit later, Griffin to Trey Burns. Statesboro wins 44-38, capturing the region title. And again, setting the stage for our other teams. The Portal girls playing on Monday. The Portal boys playing on Thursday. They've looks like they've already clinched a spot in the state. They'll play Treutlen County at Jenkins County High School in the region tournament, but win or lose, looks like they're in. They're the 19th seed in the power polls. The top 24 go to the state playoffs. As for Southeast Bulloch, they both have play-in games that taking place at Groves against the Groves Rebels. The game starting at 7 for the girls and the boys getting underway at 8:30. We also have some highlights from the Bulloch Academy Gators. They were hosting this past week Edmund Burke. Let's get out and take a look at some of their highlights and then also look at some highlights from the Portal Panthers in Johnson County. Portal hosting Johnson County Friday night. Second half, Portal coming back from a big deficit. Colby Moats off the glass for 2. Next, it's Deja Mosley off the glass for 2 herself. Destiny Brown then, well, she does much the same. She'd finish with 15 points. Moats coming through with 2 more. And then Keely Thomas, 2 of her 11 points. The lead cut to 4, but Johnson County comes back to go up by 13. Later, words exchanged, and then things would get out of hand as the Trojans' Shanitria Irvin pushes through and punches Portal's Yanni Brown right in the face. Coach Cliff Hubbard and David Hodges step in, and just when things look calm, all of a sudden Irvin's sister Shamia comes in and hits Hodges and Brown. Portal officials would do a good job of helping restore order. Officials eject both Irvin's sisters and Brown, and Portal falls 63-40. To the boys' game we go. 11-8 after the first. Portal then throws things in overdrive. Connor Washington for 3. Washington then to Dax Reddick in the corner for 3. Reddick then dials up another as Portal would score 20 points in just over 3 minutes of play in the second. Craig Ware coming through with the layup off the steal. Ronald Williams with the putback. Devontae Brown then to Washington for 2 more. Portal up 41-18 at the half as Brown comes up with the steal and the layup. We move to the second half, and Washington at the top of the key buries 3 more of his 17 points. Ware going up strong for 2 more. Brown then off the mark, but Ronald Williams there for 2 more of his 10 points. Ware coming up with 2 more inside the paint. Portal up by 24 points. Brian Ware for 3 in the corner. And finally, it's Williams coming through with the hoop and the foul as Portal rolls 65-42. Bulloch Academy hosting Edmund Burke in a region matchup, and it's bombs away early and often for BA. Casey Ricketts for 3. Riley Cook answers on the other end for Edmund Burke. BA right back. Outside again. Abby Newton for 3. Again, back come the Spartans. Caroline McTeer hits the jumper, but BA right back. Newton to Reagan Ellis, 2 of her 11. And then outside we go. Ricketts with 6 3-pointers and 19 points. Abby Newton adds 6 3-pointers herself and 20 points. Overall, BA with 14 3-pointers. Ricketts comes up with another here, and they'd win 59-43. Finally, a nice night for Gator boys. Head coach Stacy Sykes to sit back and relax. Don Aaron here in the first half driving in for the easy 2. Dre Harrison then starts to take over. Here the layup in traffic. Next, outside, he'll hit the three-pointer. He'd have 24 points. Edmund Burke would try to keep it close, but Bulloch Academy rolling right along. Harrison 2 more, and the Gators cruise in this one 68-46 the final. So for Bulloch Academy, they'll be on the road at Frederica on Tuesday, then back home to wrap up the regular season at home against Trinity for senior night. Stay with us. Georgia Southern highlights coming up next.
To stay ahead, a parent has to really be on the go and stop for school, stop for sports, stop for an intervention. But you don't have to stop for banking. To stay ahead with mobile online banking, bank ahead with Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
See Jeremy Reagan and the staff at Queensboro National Bank and Trust, South Main Street in Statesboro.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Orthopedics, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation. Experience the Optum difference.
Lee Hill & Johnston Insurers. We've been Statesboro's insurance people since 1963. That's a lot of memories. Recognized as one of the leading agencies in Georgia, Lee Hill & Johnston is independent and offers a complete line of personal and business insurance for auto, life, home, and health. We'll shop companies to find the lowest premiums and best coverage for you, your family, or your business. Lee Hill & Johnston Insurers, the insurance people since 1963.
Well, as for the Georgia Southern Eagles, for the men, it's been a good season. Right now, they're currently 3rd in the Sun Belt standings. They went on the road this past weekend, were able to knock off Arkansas Little Rock, and then fell to Arkansas State in a game that saw 61 fouls called, 44 free throws for the home team. Unfortunately, Georgia Southern with only 29 and ended up losing that one by 2. The women were swept. Let's get out and take a look at some highlights from the Arkansas Little Rock games. Georgia Southern on the road at Arkansas Little Rock. Tukey Brown coming up big in this one. Off the tip, Brown goes in for the layup. Moments later, Tukey again. This time the tough left-hander goes. A couple minutes later, Brown gets a good look from the corner. He picks up 3 more of his game-high 19 points. However, Georgia Southern still trailed by 6 at the half. In the second half, Mike Hughes with the drive to Quan Jackson, who nails the 3. Then Ike Smith gets in on the act. He drives and hits the jumper. A strong second half sends Georgia Southern past Little Rock by a final count of 67-61. Prior to the men, the Georgia Southern women facing Little Rock. The Eagles with the defense in the early goings. Off the steal, Alexis Brown goes all the way in for the layup. A little later, another steal by Southern, this time Nicole Franks. She too racing the other way for the bucket. But not nearly enough of that Thursday night. Little Rock in control. The feed inside to Yanina Nkina with the points for the home team. And this one ends up being all Trojans. They go on to win 92-52. So next up for Georgia Southern, a couple big games at home at Hammer Fieldhouse Thursday night. Beginning at 5, the women will be taking on Monroe. And then on Saturday, the Georgia Southern men and women taking on Lafayette. For the guys, tall task. Lafayette currently on top, undefeated in Sun Belt play. The men get things underway at 5 o'clock. All right, well, stay with us. Plenty more to come, including taking a look at the new head coach at Southeast Bulloch. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, providing primary care for Statesboro area patients since 1998, providing complete physicals, complete sports physicals, Medicare wellness exams, full diabetes treatment, and education from lifestyle changes to oral medications to insulin pump therapy. In-house dermatology, in-house circulation tests and ultrasounds, in-house lab. and introducing our new nurse practitioner, Melissa Beasley, as we now accommodate same-day or next-day appointments to serve your needs. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, where we care.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, it's been a long 9 months for the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets after Pat Collins decided to step down and take over as athletic director at Bulloch Academy, where he is now athletic director and head football coach. Steve Pennington took the reins. He was the defensive coordinator, helped lead the Yellow Jackets back to the state playoffs. They lost a tough game in the opening round at home, and now the announcement has come. Barrett Davis will be taking over. We had a chance to talk with the new Yellow Jacket head coach.
I saw this as a very good opportunity for me to be able to come in and take over a program that's got some great things already in place and just be able to build upon those. And we're gonna get to work. We're gonna have hard work in the weight room. Weight room's gonna be the heartbeat of what we do, and just teaching kids how to be in the right place. On the field, off the field, doing great things in the classroom. We're going to stress all of those. I believe in showing somebody that you've got a plan for everything. You know, I came in, interviewed with our committee, and just kind of had a plan for how we'll develop kids throughout high school, how we will set them up for life down the road, how a weight room would be set up, things we're going to do in there to get bigger, faster, and stronger, and just having that confidence to show that, you know, and I've had a lot of experience, you know, doing the other side of football, doing the paperwork, you know, talking to people, being a voice in that community, and those are all things that will be able to bring people in the town of Brooklet together for us to, you know, just get together on Friday nights and have coffee on Sunday morning, things like that. So that's just things that I'm looking forward to be able to do. So that's just being true to yourself, being a good people person, and being willing to work with whatever comes your way. So I've only lived in two places, Augusta, then came to Statesboro for college, and went back to Augusta to coach, and then coming back to Statesboro now. So it's a different role going from the student to now being in the teacher role. So it's great. Statesboro's a great town. It's growing rapidly. You know, we're looking for houses right now to be able to move on and get on down here, and you know, there's tons of stuff just coming up all over the place. So we're looking to get back in, get settled in, you know, find a good church for our family, you know, we're already in a great school system, so just being able to come back and contribute to what we can do at Southeast Bulloch.
What kind of football philosophies, offense, defense?
That's stuff that we'll kind of get into as we are able to adjust with personnel, see what we've got, and assess them, see, you know, what we're losing quite a bit of seniors, offensive line-wise. We're losing a running back, losing a couple linemen as well on the defense side of the ball. So that's just something we're going to assess as we get here, but not looking to change a whole lot. We're going to keep what works. Defensively, it might be more from a 3-5 standpoint. Offensively, we're going to kind of see with what we got, but we're going to get playmakers the ball, and we're going to put ourselves in the best situations we can to be successful. We're still in the works of trying to get a couple more staff members in place. Some of them are very familiar to the area. Some of them have got experience. You know, we're looking to have a good base of folks that understand, you know, the type of kids we have at Brooklet that have been here, so they can have that familiarity with the program already. But there's also, we are looking to get a couple more experienced folks as well. So however it can play out, teaching spot wise, and just what we can get. But we're going to I'm going to build the best staff I can with teaching positions we have, or whether, you know, assistant lay coaches. But we're going to put together the best staff we can. So
I know you have a background with Jeremy Gant, who's been here before. Is there any thoughts of bringing him back?
That's something that we've talked about. That's something that is going to be looked at, you know, as long as teaching spots could be able to work out, or, you know, if we're able to get him out of a contract or be able to get him on down. So that's definitely a guy that would probably be able to come in offensively and help us.
And stay with us. Coming up next, the big announcement from Tormenta FC soccer taking place over at Georgia Southern.
Hey, Miss Thompson, everything's fine. It's going to be no problem. I'll have you done in a few minutes. My name is Paisley Nordhoff, part owner of Complete Car Care, and I want you to come see me.
Well, a couple of years ago, Darren Van Tassel announced that soccer was coming to Statesboro in the form of Tormenta FC after playing a couple of years in their developmental league. Now, Tormenta FC will be moving to D3 United Soccer League, and they're not only going to be moving in 2019, but they're going to be moving into a brand new facility. We had a chance to talk with the president of Tormenta FC, Darren Van Tassel, about the big announcement going on.
I think we mark time with events all the time, and in this case, to be able to bring professional soccer to Statesboro, to make this a professional city. We're such good at being and we had such success at our collegiate success, and we're going to keep having that. But now we're a professional city too, and to be able to announce that team, to be able to really announce the formation of the new division in soccer, and also the soccer stadium piece that's going to come with it. We are just getting started. There's some big news still to come.
What's the difference in what you're doing now and what you were doing?
So in Major League Soccer, the pyramid, you have the MLS sits at the top with Division I. The USL is at Division II, and so the USL is creating a new league at Division III. And those other teams that will be added to that league will be announced here over the next several months. And below that is where our current team sits in the Premier Development League.
And these guys will actually be getting paid. Is that the difference in what they're doing now and where you were?
100%. They'll be getting paid. The season moves from just being May to the end of July to a March to September season. It means that all of us will be playing in the Open Cup going forward, and all the exciting things that we have in terms of our players being able to move yet again closer to achieving that goal of being professional athletes.
Are you affiliated with a program?
We are not affiliated with any MLS programs today, although I will tell you the phone's already started ringing. But we're really happy to be independent. We should see a much bigger, that sports tourism footprint should happen in a much bigger standpoint. Listen, we still have to wait over the next few months to see who those other teams are going to be supporting the league. When you're first out, you're first, and you have to wait and see who some of that competition will be. I think from a playing standpoint, we're talking about the difference between those all-star, really young professional, best collegiate players in the country to now moving up. So in some ways it's that jump between what do folks look like who are playing rookie ball, or those top collegiate players who are playing AA in baseball. So the difference is caliber is obviously a different skill set. But because soccer is the world sport, the demand is going to come from not just locally, it's going to come from all over the world.
The stadium and what's going to be around it?
So the stadium is really going to hold a lot of retail spaces, professional office spaces. You'll hear some of those folks who will be moving in over the next several months. We'll have some big announcements there. The stadium will have about 5,000 seats, a little bit more. It'll have luxury boxes, but it'll be a stadium that will be open year-round. It won't just be on game days. And having a stadium of this capacity, it'll be soccer specific. It will allow us to host concerts and other sorts of outdoor events. It'll be a full-time venue for Statesboro and South Georgia. I think some of that background of being my work with the Convention and Visitors Bureau started opening up my eyes to what some of those needs were here locally and in terms of our area. We've got, all of those things. When you hold events, people stay in hotels, and that drives a lot of local tax dollars. But when you build facilities, it increases local tax dollars through property taxes and that sort of thing. We're going to build a stadium, and we're going to seek to develop all those areas that are around it. We're moving from some cotton fields to something else in that area over the next few years. That's going to really add to the tax base here. When you do that, I think everybody's benefiting, not just soccer fans.
Darren, over 5,000 seats. Are you going to be able to fill them? And if so, is there that kind of a base for soccer around here?
I don't think there's any question our goal is to fill it every single time. I think that's the right mix for folks at this time. It'll allow us to play our games. We sort of moved to a more traditional American football schedule where you're just playing once a week instead of we sort of packed in a little bit more in the PDL. I think that helps us there. The fan base for soccer is really large. It's not necessarily the same sports across. It's a fairly young crowd. It's a little affluent crowd, and people will travel. It gets us the chance, I think, to tap into that movement that Atlanta United really has demonstrated in terms of just how big the soccer fan base here is in the American South. I think watching Nashville grow up into a major league city also is going to do that piece. That fan base is absolutely alive and well here in the Coastal Empire, in the Low Country of South Carolina.
That stadium is scheduled to be done in 2019, where they'll be holding their first season. It's also expected the Georgia Southern men and women's soccer teams will be playing there as well. Well, that'll wrap it up for now. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.